Good morning, everyone. I am Vone Kevitz, knit and crochet designer for one-of-a-kind makers who dare to be original. And I just want to see if I am live. Um, Again, third week, guys. So I am showing up here on YouTube every week on my channel, and I can't tell if I'm live yet. So let me see if I go somewhere. This is the funny thing about doing everything yourself. And I feel like I'm getting worse and worse as this is happening. My channel, I'm on YouTube. It doesn't look like, oh, I am live. Cool. It does say I am live. I'm going to pause that. I'm going to mute it and not pause it. And then, cool. So there it is. This is what I have to actually look for every time I go on live. All right, so as you can see, I'm on my own today. No John, but he will be coming soon. Ooh, do I have a Sarah? You see, I mean, I'm like, thank you so much, Sarah. I have to figure out how to get onto YouTube's because we're doing this through Google Hangouts, and so I started on Google Hangouts, and then I have to go to my YouTube channel and find the actual live video and click on that, and then I see the comments through YouTube. And so it's finicky. But if I can figure out a way to open that live video as it's happening, then, but usually once I go live, I'm like looking all over for the video. All right, but thank you for joining me. So today's topic is, it was a line that I used that I touched on my last week's live with John, my husband from Acquire Liberty, and on the topic of fear. And if you guys have watched it, leave in the comments and let me know what your thoughts about it are. If you like the message, be sure to share it and see if anybody can benefit from it. I was so proud of the work that we did on that, and I'm a confident person, and I rarely get to say I'm proud of putting out a video. That video I was really proud of, maybe because my husband was on it and he was so good. And so it's easier for me to express pride in that aspect of it. But and I was like, but I thought the message was really, really spot on, and it's a topic that's near and dear to both of our hearts, and I think that's why we can speak about it so passionately, and we all know everybody suffers from it. Everybody experiences fear, and we let it hold back one way or another. All right, but today's topic is what you focus on expands. When I heard this concept, it just blew my mind because it's so true. If we if I wake up and 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 something is wrong, or my mind automatically goes to a negative space, then that negative space just keeps getting worse. Then the anxieties hit, and then I just mull over and think it over and over and over again. And that's what expands. If I'm hungry, or if I see something, no, I'm going to go back even further up. I'm not hungry. I've already eaten, but all of a sudden I see a commercial or an image of something that I like, of a food that I like, and then all of a sudden my mind is thinking about that food, and before you know it, I can't stop thinking about it, and then everything happens to revolve around the thought of that food until it happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what it means to when you focus on, like, that's just a superficial aspect of it. Okay, this dog is starting really early. He was just out, but I'm gonna go let him out. I'll be right back. Come on. It's a beautiful sunny day in Northeast PA, and that's what these dogs want to do outside. They want to go watch the birds. Now, John and I would happily let them out and watch the birds, but little Independence likes to dig. So he doesn't just bird watch, he also points at worms and then digs a hole going after the worms. And sometimes they're huge. And that's why, not the worms, the actual hole. And that's why we don't like to leave them unattended. But I'm desperate and I'm trying to do a live. So, and he's just as desperate as I am, as you could hear in the background. So, what was I talking about? Okay. So, this concept of what you focus on expands. So, if it can be in the negative frame of things, and a person that complains or is negative will stay negative and continue to complain, because that's all. When you're complaining and you're in the negative space, all you're doing is looking for the negative. You just keep finding out, because you're looking for what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that. And then when you there's another principle in life, is you always find what you're looking for. You know, if let me know in the comments if you guys find that statement to be very true, because what you look for, you always find. The problem is we don't look for it. If you're not finding something, it's because you're not looking for it. If you're looking for things that are wrong, you will only see the things that are wrong. Like, I mean, just think of the concept. You know, when you get a new car or you get, a new possession, like I say car because cars travel all the time. So when I used to drive a Mazda, every time I would go on the street, every single car I would see is a Mazda. A Mazda Protege was at the time. And then the hubby got the Mazda 66, and then all of a sudden every car was a Mazda 66. And now I am driving Honda CRV, and every car is a Honda CRV, but that actually might be a true fact. That every car is a Honda CRV. But I don't see the Mazda 626 anymore. I don't see the Mazda Proteges. I don't see Mazda anymore. I just see a bunch of Hondas, because that's what I have. That's what I look for. That's what I find. And that's how the principle works. So, to go back to what you focus on, um, it's one of the things that I'm like, so every time I use that principle to help me not stay in the negative. And it's funny because when you guys are watching, if you guys have seen me from the beginning, you know that the the underlining principle of the things that I share online have always been about pursuing your dreams, about getting the courage, about fighting through fear, about not compare not comparing yourself with other people, about owning your craft, owning, like, pursuing what your best version. It's always been about that. But in the beginning, I did start off with a lot of crafts. I'm a yarn person. I knit and crochet, and that's how I got online to begin with. It was through with knitting and crocheting, and the Facebook group, and all that stuff. And so you saw a lot of crochet videos and crafting videos. And then as I learned how to knit, you saw more knitting videos and you saw more knitting projects, and you see less and less of the crochet. And now that I'm doing so many more lives, so many more creative interviews, and so many more things on the side of helping and motivating and inspiring people, um, I am doing less and less crafting. And that is because of what I focus on expands. So the more this year alone, so instead of looking at creating tutorial videos to knit and crochet, I was capitalizing on the fact that I can reach out to makers and do these creative interviews with them. So every free time I had, which are these Saturdays, I would schedule 2 1 to 2 interviews every single weekend. And that was just because I wanted to reach out and learn from and get to know these awesome makers, ordinary women doing extraordinary things. I wanted to get into their world and get to know them, and then put a camera on it and share it with people and share it with everybody, because that's the one thing that I do find more and more makers coming into the world, especially like from the Facebook group in the beginning, was how I want to do this, but I'm afraid to, and I see other people doing it and I'm terrified of, and I don't think I'm as good as them, so I don't bother, and there's this nagging thing. So every time, the more and more I kept reading those statements like that, I kept wanting, I figured I'm going to keep showing them more and more women that are doing it, like more and more people that are pursuing their dreams, more and more people that are just in the same struggles, just going through their same trials. Just they have family, they have kids, they have jobs, they have other priorities in life, but yet they still take some time to pursue their craft and to learn and grow what interests them. And some benefit really great, some benefit not so great. Some struggle with the ins and outs and the days and outs, like me, not creating, not crafting when I proclaim to be a knit and crochet designer, and you haven't seen a new pattern from me lately, is because what I'm focusing on right now are these YouTube videos and getting as many motivating videos out there as possible. That's what's expanding. And so I was, the reason why I wanted to share this very principle with everybody is because in the negative headspace, if you stay focusing on the negative, then that stays expanded. Then all of a sudden, negativity breeds negativity, and even though you can fake a smile on the outside, your thoughts are in a negative space. Your thoughts, you're looking for the wrong, and then you stay looking for the wrong. It's So how to counteract that is, now you know why people say, "Oh, I keep a gratitude journal. I write daily gratitudes," and I'm constantly, when people are writing in their gratitude journals or writing down their gratitudes every day, that's because now they have to actively look for what they're grateful for. And when you are in the state of looking for what you're grateful for, you find things that you are grateful for. You find more and more things and more ways to support what is actually good and what is abundant in your world. And when you're focused on the abundance of your world, you you create more abundance. You crave more abundance. You want more abundance because you're looking for it and you're finding it. And then that's like reinforcing what you're looking for, and therefore more and more come. Just like the negative, just like the opposite, the dead opposite. And so abundance breeds abundance, just like negativity breeds negativity. And so So if you, so that's why I'm like looking. So when I find myself in this space of not helping me, not working out for me, because I come on here and you guys see this, and I want it to be very clear, because Mariah Seacrest Comer from Wealthy Boss, she's just posted her interview is coming out in August. She's amazing. I've been following her for years, and I was in her health and wellness program, and it was an online program, and she talks about, ways to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and for entrepreneurs. So, and health, hence her brand Wealthy Boss, and it's WELLTHY Boss. Go look her up on Instagram. But she posted something today, and she had a bad day. Whatever situation she was in, it was a bad day. But she posted on it, not to stress the bad day, not to complain about the bad day, nothing like that, but to touch on the fact that in our day and age in social media, we have a tendency to just blow up the good and to highlight, our Instagram reels with positivity, and I do that on my feed because that's what I want to resonate. So I highlight positivity because I want that to expand. But the offset of that is that people think when they watch other people's feeds that they're living perfect lives, and that is not the case. Every single person, every human faces adversity every single day, every day. Every single human on planet Earth faces one adversity or another. There are different degrees, there are varying degrees but throughout the day, everybody is facing adversity one way or another. And how we um, portray it is one thing, how we live it is another thing. And she just happened to have taken the moment to say, we have good days and we have bad days. Yesterday was a bad day, but I wanted to share it to let you guys know that bad days happen and good days will come again. And and I responded back into her comment that I'm sending love and prayers her way, and that my life actually is based on I have two kinds of days in this world. I'm realizing more and more as I struggle through this. And this is why, honestly, I'll go back to why I'm focusing on positivity and mine, and why I'm not creating as much, is because I'm stuck in a space where I need to motivate myself and inspire myself to create. I've been so far off the creation train that I don't know how to jump back on. And it's not that I don't know how to jump back on, I'm not jumping back on. And I'm just waiting for, I don't know what I think I'm waiting for. Am I waiting for it to slow down so that I can jump back on? Do I feel like the train is going so fast that I'm like, it's dizzy and I don't want to get on that train yet? I don't know what it is. But right now, that's my headspace right now. And therefore, I'm working on my head, trying to figure out, I'm doing a lot of work on my head to go, why the heck do I not want to do what used to make me so happy? You know, I was in full bliss when I was picking up the yarn and the hook and the needle, and I could have like done nothing in the world, and 6 hours would go by of me working on something, and now I can't even get myself to pick up a hook or a needle, and that's crazy for me. But that's an offset. So I have two kinds of days. When I read her post, I was like, I have two kinds of days. And that's one, that the Instagram filter, the subtle Instagram filter, which I absolutely love because I don't wear makeup. So that subtle filter just gives me like this highlight and this glow on my face that people are always like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And I'm like, no, that's Instagram. And so then you come on YouTube and it's this blurry camera. But that's also good too, because that just hides everything too. So I'm not sure if I'm really on the quest for a real HD camera right now. But so two kinds of days. One that subtle Instagram filter can fix, or a day that no filter that Instagram comes up with can fix. And that's just my funny way of saying we have good and we have bad days. And I applaud her for sharing the not so good day yesterday. And I pray that today is a nice clean day for her, and that her day is bright and full of sunshine, because first of all, she's out in the West Coast. So I think she's in Texas, so she can have some beautiful sunshine in Texas. And I hope it comes her way today. But I don't even know how I even got on that topic. So, yo, I'm on here every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The reason why I'm choosing to do this is to basically give you guys access to me if you guys have any questions. So please come on in and share some questions and put me on the spot and ask me some things that I would love to talk to you about. Maybe one day you'll actually see me knitting and crocheting something. Maybe I'll actually be working on something and talking to you about certain topics. But how I got on the schedule is because I have been setting up creative interviews every Saturday at 11 and 12:30. And so now that I've paused filming those interviews, I have a bunch more to release. So do not panic, people, because I know that a lot of you guys love those creative interviews, and I'm so glad that you do. And that's why I do them. That's why we do them. That's why the creators say yes and come on and share their story. And I'm always finding tips. I'm always constantly motivated by them. I listen to them and I hear like the conversations of the things they do. The past 2 weeks have been phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, um, the one with JC Lee Pulford from Hello Awesome Ministries, she does artwork and digital artwork. She does and she's an author, a Christian author, and from The Glitter Effect, which I have the book that I absolutely love, um, that everybody needs to read because it's just the concept of how when you spill glitter it just goes everywhere, and that's the life of that's leadership. That's every day. That's everybody. We everything we do and say resonates and has an effect, and you can't put it back. And so we either have to be careful with the things that we um, say and do and act and portray ourselves into the world, and especially for leadership roles like me who has a YouTube channel, who has a Facebook group, and who wants to represent Christians in a good light, because I live by the word of God, and I want to do my BFF Jesus Christ proud when I step out in the world and people see me. I want them to see Jesus in me that reflects that. And so there's a lot of pressure for me to be that and emulate all that for everybody, but at the same time be true to myself, and in a way where you're authentic to yourself. And I think that's why I do a lot of mind work. And speaking of mind work, which I will touch on this on another day, mind work, I just learned yesterday that your mind is not you, and the concept of your mind not being you was is mind blowing. We have a mind, but your mind is not you. And I was like, and your thoughts could be lying to you. And I'm like, what? And then listening to the whole thing, I'm like, it totally was so true. We Our mind is not us. We are not our minds. We have a mind, just like we have arms and legs, just like we have, but it's not us. My hand is not me. I have it. And so what does the mind do? The mind is a blank slate when we come into this world. When we are little babies and we come out forth, our mind is a blank slate. And the things that we see and hear and consume, that becomes templates for our mind, and they become files in our mind that we refer back to over and over and over again. So depending on how our parents are, how our community is, how our school, teachers, friends, everything, we just collect these files that go into our mind, and then when things happen, we refer to them. That's why like we can channel surf, and until we come across a channel that we like or something that we want to stop and see, is because we recognize the file and we pull it out from our mind and we go, oh, I like that, I want to see more of it. And then how we could flip through everything else, and then you have no idea what you're looking at because they're not a part of your mind file. So that concept was like mind blowing. I'm like, and then so when if that's the case, then is everything that everybody says is true? Is everything that everybody says has no false bearing whatsoever? And the answer is no. Not everybody is 100% factual true all the time. So everything that we see in our mind, all these files that are sitting in our mind, some of them are not true. Some of them have no basis. Some of them have no, like, then you wonder why it's so funny because like why we're afraid of of things of things happening. And even when things never happen, even when it never happens, we spend most of our energy being afraid of things that being afraid of scenarios that never happen. Never happen. Anxious people sit around worrying and wonder over things that never become, only possibilities. And the reason why is because our mind is made for one thing. Our mind has one job. Just like our hands do physical things, just like our legs take us places from one distance to another, our mind is made to for survival, for survival only. Our brain is made for survival, is so that we survive, not thrive, not thrive. And therefore, if all our mind is made for is to survive, then it just does things to keep us alive. But it doesn't mean happy. It doesn't mean abundant. It doesn't mean it's serving us in the best way. Because when you're looking to survive and and then there's like a protection aspect of it where you don't want to die, you don't want to stop, you don't want to lose, you don't want. So in a way, the mind just does things and says things and shows us things to stop us from changing because it wants to protect us, and it does, and then control us. And I was just like blown away. I'm like, wow. And that is what my mind is doing to me. So it distracts me from, so I find other things other than doing the one thing that I want to be doing is creating. And and I so so if you know all this and you know what you focus on expands and you know the things, so what can I do to to fix it? Because when you know the problem, the solution is easy. And this, I didn't say it was um no, I'm sorry, that was a misspoke. The solution is simple. When you have a problem and when you know the problem, the solution is always simple. It's not always easy to do, but it's simple. And the simple thing is to flip it and to change it, to add different files and add different files to your mind. And that's why I'm like, that's why I read a lot of self-development books. That's why I like to, I'm afraid to do a lot of things, but I read and do things so that I can correct what I fear. And that's one of the things that we talked about last week, John and I, is to go ahead and jump in and do those things. Because when you jump in and do those things, then you're changing those algorithms of your mind. You're actually like, oh, I did it. I didn't die from it. I'm alive. I survive, and then I go and do it again, and just like these live videos. So I'm not sure if this video even, that's half these live videos that I do is I'm never sure if my babbling ever helps one way or another. But I must, because I do get comments from people. And I hope to get better as I do it. I hope to, I prayed so hard on this topic of what we focus on expands. And and so I'm trying to use that in a positive light now. So when I do see things, if I find myself getting anxious of things and or something that I don't want to happen, I have to remember what I focus on expands. So if I don't focus on this, it will shrivel. So I need to focus on something that I want to grow, something that I want to get bigger, something that I want to expand. And hopefully that is not my waistline when it comes to food. You go back to the earlier thing. If you focus on food, your waistline will expand. If you focus on exercise and keeping your body fit, your muscles will grow. You know, so that was the comparison that I made, and that's the physical stuff. And then there's the mental stuff. If you focus on negativity and complaining and all the wrong things and looking for what you lack and what you need and what you, speaking of lacking and needing, there's a statement I said to Sarah on our Monday morning motivation. I hope you guys join me on those. Those are so much fun, and I say that to condition my mind. Sarah, if she's still on with Pamper Treasures, Monday morning motivation. We're coming to, so we get on every Monday at 6 a.m. Sarah and I from the Pamper Treasure. She's on Instagram Live through her Pamper Treasure, um, and I am on live on this YouTube channel at 6 a.m. to show everybody what it looks like for us Monday mornings when we're pursuing our best version. And the reason why we do that at bright and early 6 a.m. is because we want to get a good head start in the week. And the only way to do it is to come running in strong Monday mornings. And we do it to touch base on ourselves, to hold each other accountable. And then we thought, let's go live and share it with everybody and show what it looks like. You know, I can tell you that I wake up at 5 a.m. I could tell you that I'm doing all these things, but what does it actually look like? And believe me, it is not pretty. It is not. Um, but it can be entertaining just because it takes a while for our minds to wake up from it. But and Sarah picks a quote every week that we focus on, and we kind of like um, we kind of refer back to and keep us grounded in it. And I hope you guys join us for that. But this and I'm drawing a blank as to what she's planned for this week, but it's another good one. I feel like just like every quote that's thought provoking, every time you are setting yourself up to be better, to have a better version of yourself, you there's no bad thing. You know what I mean? Like it's always good, and it's always good reminders. And so that's all those Monday mornings are, is just to remind you that you are setting an intention to have a great week, you know, and that's what it does for us. And we're seeing the benefits. We are honestly seeing the benefits. But not only that, but there's a few people that actually join us live because they're either in Eastern Standard Time or they're in the opposite end of the world. So it's like 6 p.m. to them. But they like Plang, she joins us. It's like her third week. I think she's been live with us every week, watching us, and now she's doing her own lives for her channel. I think it's Instagram. I'm not sure if it's YouTube, but she's doing something that she's deathly afraid of because of something that Sarah and I said last week about you can't wait for the perfect moment. You can't if I waited for the perfect camera like this not like this blurry laptop one that I have, if I waited for that, I wouldn't I wouldn't have a YouTube channel for 4 years now. I wouldn't even, and I do. And so, and that's because I didn't wait. And so something about that one topic just made her go, I'm gonna go live every Wednesday. And that made me just feel so good because I'm like, oh my God, we are making a difference. One person at a time. And if it's not just outside of one person, me doing this is cathartic for me getting on here and sharing, just like me getting on here live and talking about hard topics like last week with John and I with fear, and this week with what I'm focusing on will expand. So I'm focusing on things that I want to expand, and I'm sharing the message because in case you guys need to focus on something that in a direction that you want to expand and not stay focusing on things that are not serving you. The reason why I'm doing this is because it is cathartic for me. If I'm not helping anybody at all, then I'll tell you one thing, I'm helping myself because I'm overcoming fears. I'm staying true and grounded in the things and message that I want. And by me getting out here and holding myself accountable for it, that's me on its own. That's at the root of it. That's at the root of it. And that's the same thing and the same principle as the creative interviews is I've reached out to those makers because I'm inspired by them and I want to learn more about them and I want to know their tips and secrets about how they get up every morning and how they pursue their dream and what adversity looks like for them and how they overcome it. And by me seeking that quest, I get so much value from those interviews. I get so much goodness coming from those interviews. And once in a while, somebody will come in and comment and tell me this interview was awesome. I learned so much in so many keys. I'm like, me too. Me too. And they have revelations and they're grateful for it. And I have revelations and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that they shared the fact that it worked out for them. I'm so grateful for every comment that anybody sends me my way, good or bad. I'm always grateful for comments that come my way because uh, reacting a reaction to the things that I do either helps me in a way where it lets me know that it validates what I'm doing and lets me know that I'm in the right direction, or it lets me know that if I'm not in the right direction, I want to know what is the better direction. You know what I mean? So not to say that I will flip flop one way or another to anybody, but it is great. So if you guys have any reactions to any of my videos, please make a comment. Please share it. No comment is big or small. So, even if you just shoot a smiley face at me, then I at least know you watched it. And if you shoot a sad face, then I'll know that something didn't resonate with you, and we could discuss that further too. But all right, not quite the hour, but I figure this is enough. My voice is enough tiring. It's tiring me now. Uh, so, y'all, I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you next week. I'm not sure what the plan is, but I have a feeling I do want to talk a little bit more about this. So maybe next week, unless you guys come on and ask questions. And speaking of questions, my first live, I did answer all of my creator interview questions. So if you haven't caught that first live, go check it out. It's in my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is starting the library of the videos is starting to grow, and it's expand and in the direction, it's various different directions. So I'm curious to see which ones resonate with you better. So hopefully these live videos do, you know. All right, that's it. So join us. So next time. So we got Monday, 6 a.m. for Monday Morning Motivation. Come back here, join me live with Sarah and I from Pamper Treasures. And then on Wednesday, another YouTube video goes out of another creative interview, and my email gets out sends out that day. I had to change from Monday morning to Wednesday. So now I got to go back and re-edit all my copy for the weekly newsletter to start off Monday mornings, right? To start off Monday morning, right, you have to join the Monday morning motivation. It was too many videos out on Monday. And you know how I love my Mondays, right? So I had to spread it out. And so I figured the creative interviews, the scheduled videos, and the email is better served on a Wednesday in the midweek as a good reminder. And then on Saturday, touch base with me again on Saturday and let me know what you guys are working on. And hopefully by next Saturday, I will have a hook and needle in my hand. I do have a project that I need to do. It just, the idea just came to me yesterday, and I'm praying over it, and I hope I get it done. There is a time crunch, so I will need to get cracking, and it's probably going to be by next Saturday because I will have to have the project finished by the 30th, before the 30th, to say the least. So I think it's going to be a good one. But all right, guys, until next time, God bless. Bye.